In the two previous pit stops, the role of having financial and administrative independence of SK has been highlighted. Sinabi natin na compared dati, ngayon ang SK, mas may kakayahang magdesisyon na sa sarili nitong pondo at pagkakagastusan. Sinabi rin natin na compared dati, ngayon ang SK mas organisado at solido ang mga proyekto at serbisyo kasi sistematikong pagpaplano. Ito ay sa pamamagitan ng CBYDP at ABYIP. So it does seem that SK can and should work alone and alone only, tama? Siyempre hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon at konteksto. While it may have a greater level of autonomy this time around on running its own affairs in the community, still it has to work closely with other actors and entities on the ground. At ang pangunahin nga doon ay ang Sangguniang Barangay. And you may ask, pero bakit? Hindi ba pwedeng kami na lang? Mga kapwa SKs, I will give you our whys in relation to that. First, and perhaps the most practical of all, it's in the law, the SK Reform Act and its IRR. And by this I pertain to the fact that the SK chairperson is automatically an ex-officio member of the Sangguniang Barangay, as mandated under Section 12. In fact, the SK chairperson is also accorded the opportunity to lead the Barangay Committee on Youth and Sports Development at sa ibang committee gaya ng Barangay Council for the Protection of Children o BCPC. At sa Barangay Anti-Drug Abuse Council o BADAC ay umuupo rin bilang miyembro ang SK chairperson. So you see, this provision is here for a reason, which leads me to our second why. We, the Sangguniang Kabataan, have a unique role in the affairs of the barangay. Very connected with the first reason, our second why insofar as SK, working with the Barangay Council, is concerned deals with youth visibility and voice. On visibility, as mentioned, there is an automatic seat and set of functions and powers reserved in the Barangay Council for SK through the SK chairperson. This is premised on the objective of sustaining, if not improving, the representation of youth in official barangay decision-making processes, especially those with direct impact on the sector. Nothing about us without us. Sabi nga madalas ng maraming inclusion advocates sa mga mahalagang espasyo ng pagdedesisyon sa ating gobyerno. In most cases, pinakamainam na may kabataan mismo sa Barangay Council who personally and physically participate in its sessions. Kaakibat ng visibility ay voice. Pwede nga naman kasing may bagets na kagawad na o baka kapitan pero hindi naman pala laging para sa kabataan ang unang konsiderasyon sa mga polisiya at programa sa barangay. That's why SK has to be there and to work with the Sangguniang Barangay to ensure that the best interest of the youth is always brought to the table and articulated by the one representing the SK. In most cases nga, ay yung chairperson. Having said that, there will be some guarantee that in the crafting of the barangay development plans and other related processes, the agenda of the youth are always included and mainstreamed. Now, our third why, with SK permanently holding a seat in barangay council sessions on both legal and practical grounds, it would be safe to expect that there will be a good level of coherence between the plans, programs, and projects of SK and those of the barangay, and vice versa. Tumutugma ang mga ginagawa ng bawat isa sa barangay, partikular na iyong para sa mga kabataan. And that coherence breeds impact. Sa huli, ang mga kabataan sa barangay ang panalo kung ang lahat ng aksyon at desisyon ng parehong Sangguniang Barangay at Sangguniang Kabataan ay nagkakapareho batay sa konsultasyon at partisipasyon ng mismong mga kabataan sa barangay. And for the last but definitely not the least of our whys in terms of SK working with the Barangay Council, this is a precious opportunity to bridge generations of barangay leaders and to foster mutual learning, particularly on progressive governance. They say that older people have the wisdom and the younger ones have the guts. Well, hindi naman palagi. The opposite could be true. And minsan pa nga, both of them have both, the wisdom and the guts, and they simply do not realize it because they do not engage and talk with one another. And for that, the SK working hand in hand with the Sangguniang Barangay becomes not simply legal and practical, but most importantly, a moral imperative. That moment becomes a chance to not only support each other in advancing the agenda of the youth in the barangay, but also to challenge and hold one another accountable when a mistake is committed. Posible naman kasi gawin pareho.